Okay, so I'm going to try and narrate over this while I click and drag, which should be pretty interesting. But this is basically a quick CAD model of the bathroom area and the proposed workbench area, which is opposite the compactor. So I'll start with the workbench area. And first off, this pipe here, that's actually a sprinkler pipe. So that's not a movable object. It's a big water pipe with two sprinklers on top of it. So the workbench area up here, these guys, I've put some LED lights and there's strip lights, and they're directly above so that they shine down onto this workbench area. On the wall over here is probably a light switch and some power outlets. And of course this is just kind of concept, and I'm just kind of roughing some ideas here. But then, so this is the space, and it's fairly small space, but I think we can make it usable. And then I've put two tables in here, and this table here, this workbench is stationary and it's locked in place. But this other workbench here, I'm thinking is actually movable and is on some form of casters, with the idea that you can roll it out. And maybe you want to roll it out because you've got something large that you do in there, or you put in a large painting or a piece of wood across there or something. You need to move it away from the walls. So something else I also put on this movable bench is like a vise. This little guy here, and that vise is pretty much on the end of the bench to make it more usable. So when it's back against this wall, the vise is on the end here, and you could clamp things in and out of it or whatever. Yeah, and basically, just a super clean area, maybe a trash can down here and little stool to sit at. But basically that's the workbench area. So some power and some workbenches. And that's it. So just a conversation starter there. And then I'll go around here. And all this stuff, by the way, is kind of done to scale. So I went downstairs and I measured it all and just put it in CAD here. So it is to scale, so it's fairly reasonable, the proportions you're seeing. So here it is the start of like the wash station. And this is where the door is currently. And there's a cute little dog in there. So I'm just gonna remove this wall so you can see what's going on. Okay, so if you've been in this room already, you know it looks a bit different than this now. But what I was thinking about was essentially not, messing around too much with where all the plumbing is and trying to keep some of that plumbing there so we didn't have to redo everything. But basically, on the left-hand side here is a sink, and that's new. It used to be over here. And then, as you can see, this frog dog kind of for scale. And you can see there's a little lip down here, and this is like a full, tiled in area or whatever you call it. And this is kind of like a shower attachment. I just kind of threw something in there, but basic idea. And then over here, I have this little shelf or this little bench. And the idea behind this bench is you could put stuff up there to wash it, or you could put a smaller dog up there or something like that. But this bench would essentially fold down, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm just going to do this. Slap a bike in there. So this room is pretty small, and oh my goodness, the bike has somehow hemorrhaged the dog. That's not good. Let's turn the dog off. So you can see the room is pretty small, so as soon as you get a bike in there, you're taking up a lot of space. So what I did here was kind of put this bike in here, and as you can see, this bench, however big this bench is, will probably need to fold up or out of the way to be able to get the bike in there. So I'm anticipating that this guy will fold up. Let's see. Yeah, so that would go, something like this. You'd be down here, fold up here in use. And when it's up, it'll give you more access to the shower stuff as well. So maybe if you're washing a large dog down here, it would be folded up anyway. So that's a little shelf. I've also put in here, just little things like a little attachment on the wall right there to be able to go and tie your dog leash to if you've got a batshit crazy dog that's just running around or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, just a quick conversation starter as the things, and gives you an idea of the space we got to work with as well. Pretty small space.